from the campus of the University of Alabama. Live sports from Alabama's sports team. This is WVUA Sports.
A live look at Atlanta, where just a couple hours ago the Alabama Crimson Tide took on Missouri in the SEC title game. Welcome into Sports Saturday. I'm Jen Chapman. #1 ranked Alabama on upset alert today, facing the 16th ranked Missouri Tigers in the SEC championship game in Atlanta. The Tide looking not just for the title, but for a spot in the first college football playoffs. Last time the two teams met was 2012. The Tide won 42-10. This afternoon, first quarter, Alabama completes a 60-yard drive with a 1-yard TJ Yeldon score. They took the early lead. Second quarter, Blake Sims already 10 for 10. Make it 11 for 11. He connects with DeAndrew White. Perfect placement, 58-yard score. Shane Ray, though, SEC leader in sacks, would be called for targeting and ejected from the game. Still in the second quarter, Yeldon from 2 yards out to give the Tide a 3-score advantage. Second half, Tigers not backing down. Matty Mock gets into a rhythm, finds Bud Sasser. They cut the lead 21-10. Tide's offense using all the weapons today. Christian Jones responsible for 40 yards on that drive, including the touchdown. Derrick Henry would rush for 2 more Bama touchdowns in the fourth quarter as the Tide captured their 24th SEC title, third one under Nick Saban, and a spot in the playoffs. Getting to see all the action live today was our sports director, Gary Harris, and anchor BJ Millican, who join us now from Atlanta. Quite the game for Tide fans. Let's send it over to Gary and BJ for their thoughts on the game. Guys?
And, you know, the sounds of cleaning are all around us here at the Georgia Dome. Alabama cleans up a 24th SEC championship. And welcome in, everybody, to Sports Saturday live from the Georgia Dome. I'm BJ Millican, joined by Gary Harris. Gary, a great game for Alabama fans for sure.
You know, one of the most remarkable aspects of the evening, BJ, is just a little while ago, this field was covered in confetti.
Confetti, it's all gone.
And these guys with blowers have totally already removed it all. But,
absolutely.
You know, another really entertaining football game. Mm-hmm. You know, Alabama came out. You could tell they were ready to play the football game. They won the toss, took the football, drove it right down, scored a touchdown. 7-0. You know, Missouri kind of hung around there a little bit. And Alabama still a comfortable lead at halftime. And in the third quarter, the deep ball that had victimized Alabama against Auburn reared its head again, and Missouri made some plays with Mott getting out of the pocket and just heaving it up, and Jimmy Hunt was on the other end making plays, and they got this thing back to an 8-point game at one point. Yeah,
and, you know, they had a hard time covering Hunt. We talked about it just a second ago. Even when they did cover him, they would just make some unbelievable plays. And it really reminded me a lot of the Auburn game, the way it kind of ebbed and flowed. Bama scored first. Auburn kind of came back, held in there, and then Bama took over at the end, really kind of exploded out of the gate at the end.
Yeah, BJ, the real similarity was that when Missouri made its run, and even though they never took the lead, you know, the way Auburn did last week, but when they did make a run, the Alabama offense countered. Yeah. Blake Sims making plays all over the field. And you know what? Amari Cooper caught a lot of balls. He set the SEC single-game championship record with 12 catches, but for only 83 yards. But DeAndrew White, 4 catches for 101 yards and a touchdown, and Christian Jones, 3 for 40 and a crucial touchdown. He spread the ball around, found O.J. Howard as well. TJ Yeldon a little nicked up again with that hamstring, but Derrick Henry had a huge game and pretty much salted it away just like he did the Auburn game. So, again, Alabama offensively have so many different weapons they can hurt you with, and defensively they smothered Missouri on first and second down. No running game at all. You take away the big plays, which you can't, but this might have been a shutout. But a great win for Alabama, 24 SEC championships. That's a whole lot more than anybody else has got. I can tell you that much. Tennessee second, I think, with 13. So a great night for Alabama football.
Absolutely. We know how Nick Saban feels about the SEC championship. We talked to him and several players after the game.
I'll tell you what, it's a significant accomplishment. I've been in this league for a long time. It's tough to win. It's tough to win in your division, and it's tough to win in this game. And you got to give Missouri's team a lot of credit. They had a great year. They did a great job of battling back in the third quarter when they could have, you know, sort of said, I don't know if we can win this game. And it was a real credit to our guys to respond to that and take the game back over in the fourth quarter.
Feel great, man. I'm proud of our team, our coach. coaches. You know, it just feels great, man. We got a long road ahead, though. You know, we don't know what's at stake right now. We just know that we put ourselves in a good position, you know.
We just know how to face adversity. You know, we know what to do. We've been in adversity before, and we just don't have anything else.
It feels great to win this tough conference. And, you know, we played a great team today, and I feel like we played our best game in the year, and we're ready to move on from here.
Alabama, we #1, and we still climbing.
And Gary, here are some of those numbers. Alabama 504 yards of total offense to Missouri's 313 rushing. Obviously, Alabama had the big edge there. And a big key we talked about during the game was third down. They had Alabama 9 of 13. Missouri only 6 of 16, but as we said, it felt like they had more because they got them in kind of bunches. And Alabama obviously owning time of possession, 36 minutes to 23. We've got a lot more coming up from right here in the Georgia Dome. Coming up next, let's take a look at a little video. We're going to talk about Alabama's resiliency. It's something they've done all year long, coming back from deficits, coming back from adversity. Nick Saban loves to talk about it. We're going to come back and talk about that live from the Georgia Dome. It's WVUA's coverage of Alabama's 24th SEC championship. We'll be right back on Sports Saturday after the break. We're back on Sports Saturday, live from the Georgia Dome, covering Alabama's 24th SEC. I knew I was going to say it. SEC championship. And this was a big play in the game, Gary. Christian Jones hauling in a 6-yard pass from Blake Sims. A big play in the game and a big drive. Alabama was only up 8. This made it a comfortable spread, 28-13.
It really did, BJ, because like we said, the big plays that Missouri was able to make, Mock getting out of the pocket and finding Hunt. They cut it 21-13. Alabama answers with a drive. Christian Jones gets the touchdown, and then they get Missouri to have to punt, and they go 90 yards to make it 35-13. And at that point, the writing was on the wall. So again, as we've seen all year, this Alabama offense able to make big plays and have crucial drives when they need it most in the game.
Absolutely. And, you know, it was nice to see Christian Jones again.
Absolutely. Well, you know,
he made some plays.
He does a lot of things you don't see on the stat sheet. Of course, he returns kicks and punts. He's a great blocker on those wide receiver screens. He's a hustler. He's a great teammate lifting people up. So, yeah, it was good to see him have success in terms of pass receiving tonight.
He made a great special teams tackle on a kickoff that almost –
yeah, that almost
if he wouldn't have made that tackle. Let's talk a little bit about resiliency. Alabama has been resilient all year long. Since that Ole Miss loss, they've done a lot of good things, bounced back for some adversity. Let's take a look at some of the video. And in this game, as we said, Alabama only up at 1 point, 21-13. Missouri, even though they had 313 yards of total offense, 4 plays yielded 168 yards. Big plays for Missouri.
Yeah, for the most part, they were in third and long all night. A lot of negative plays on the run game. No run game at all for them. As we said, they made enough big plays to hang in the game, but Alabama's defense, you hate to say dominant when you give up, 13 points and a little over 300 yards, which isn't bad. But for the most part, in the game, they were dominant, BJ. Yeah. Those few plays really, really hurt, but they smothered that run game. I mean, Missouri, they had one run of 15 yards. I think the next longest run was 4 yards.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's hear from Nick Saban and some of the players on the Alabama way, bouncing back from adversity.
You know, I always believe in this group. I always have believed in this group. I just ask them questions, and I asked the question after the Ole Miss game, how are you going to respond to a loss? We've only had one team that didn't lose a game. That's a very difficult thing to do. And I think they responded the right way.
Lost that first game against Ole Miss. We just took it upon ourselves, just said we're not going to lose anymore. Even if we had to crawl off the field, somebody had to pick us up off the stretches. We weren't losing no more games.
Well, you have to be relentless if you want to be a great team, so I'm just glad that we're able to be relentless and overcome things.
We played in big games before. We've been here before, so it's nothing we haven't seen, so we just want to come out here and establish ourselves, and we came up with a W.
More quick numbers for you. We already mentioned Amari Cooper, 12 receptions, sets an SEC championship game record. And Blake Sims, what can you say about him? He holds now the Bama record for passing yards in a season, 3,250.
Interesting stats, but there's one very important stat that you left out. I'm surprised you left it out.
What's that?
For the first time all season, documented at least, Kiffin had called the DeAndre White touchdown. For the first time, he called a touchdown as the play was developing, and it was not a touchdown. The screen pass to Christian Jones, he only got to the 1 yard line.
He's got to work on that. He's
yeah,
got to get back in the weight room.
But they got the touchdown off of it. But yeah, I think they're going to just start having a Kiffin cam now to make those calls. It's becoming its own, had a life of its own. But that was amazing on the deep throw to DeAndre White. He had the arms up before the ball was even out of Blake Sims' hands.
A great offensive mind. And speaking of Blake Sims, the game MVP of this game. What a game he had. Let's look at some of his highlights in this game. Just a guy who has come really, and he's in his home state today and doing something really special in this game.
Amazing. You know, his ability to shake off adversity, shake off the last play the next play. Against Auburn, a lot of people thought he was down for the count, and after that third interception, he was nearly flawless. Tonight, he made plays all over the field. And, you know, what's interesting to me, BJ, is Coach Saban's been asked all season long about, you know, this story, this inspirational story of Blake Sims. He's been hesitant to talk about it. But finally today, after the SEC championship, he let it all come out. It was really an emotional moment for Nick Saban about what Blake Sims means to him and, you know, what he's overcome.
Here he is, Blake Sims and Nick Saban after the game.
Just pretty much just going out playing, doing everything that Coach Saban has taught me and Coach Kiffin has taught me, and just trust my players that they're going to play hearts out and leave no regrets on the field.
As a coach, you love to see guys that go through what he's gone through, work so hard, always persevered, and then have success. And this is phenomenal success that he's had with this season. But it's a credit to his character and his work ethic.
And there you see the numbers. Blake Sims, an Alabama SEC championship game record for total yards, 262 via air, 19 through the pass. And he did set a SEC championship game record, 10 consecutive completions to begin the game. So what more can we really say?
What did he finish? 23 of 27, 262, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Only took 2 sacks against a great pass rush. Took that shot by Shane Ray when Ray was ejected and popped up. That was on the touchdown pass to White. And as you heard Coach Saban say, you know, he's a special football player, not just because of what he's done on the field, but what it took for him to get on the field. 4 years before he played, scout team. As Coach said, he ran scout team at DB, running back, wide receiver. They used him for just about anything. Never complained one time. We're happy to have him see him have success, and Coach Saban is thrilled that Blake Sims is getting to enjoy the fruits of an SEC championship, and all his players. He really loves this team, you can tell.
And he had a little fun after the game. He mentioned it before the game. If you saw the CBS broadcast, he mentioned a movie, A Cool Hand Luke. And let's hear a little bit of what Nick Saban said after the game.
I got something for you guys. Can we get somebody out there to get him to do a redo of Cool Hand Luke? Because I told Blake I wanted him to play this game like Cool Hand Luke. And he looks at me and says, who the hell is that? So we're going to get that on Netflix or something.
There you go. So Nick Saban having a little fun.
You know, and he's right. And he told the media, you got to help me out here. Whether you're a football player or not, young guys, girls, watch Cool Hand Luke. Maybe Paul Newman's greatest role. I mean, 1967, but what a movie.
Absolutely.
And Sims might not have known who Cool Hand Luke was, but he did play like Cool Hand Luke.
He absolutely did. The most important thing, an SEC championship. That's all we've got from here. Coming up next on Sports Saturday, Jen's going to wrap it up from the studio. Thank you for watching us here from Atlanta. Jen comes up next with a little more football highlights. Thanks for your
viewership.
Your viewership, yeah.
Thank you, everybody.